We are building what we hope is a robust online community for Resistance: Fall of Man.
What are the odds that in 2006, a launch title for the PlayStation 3 would happen to be the very best multiplayer game that generation, or any generation, had to offer? It sounds like a gamble to bet big on your first attraction to a new console, but instead of playing it safe, Sony took a chance at their absolute peak to develop alongside Insomniac Games a genre-defining first-person shooter unlike anything we've seen before or since.
What we hope is a robust online community for Resistance: Fall of Man. We have chat rooms, we have buddy lists.
We are hoping, he says. How little did he know what he and his team would go on to build. Resistance: Fall of Man is often overlooked as a cult classic, but in fact it institutionalized the standard for competitive multiplayer through its skill-based and creative, balanced weapon system with a high time to kill, unlike the tag-your-it franchises such as Call of Duty that would take over in popularity soon after it. There was no easy way to get the edge over on a skilled player. Resistance had gunfights face-to-face where 11 shots to the head was a kill, and shooting someone in the back or sniping someone in the feet didn't yield any meaningful results, as they could turn on you in an instant and with stable accuracy drop you to the floor, collecting a ribbon and giving you a nice teabag. You had all kinds of absurd weapons to choose from, picked up from fixed, limited spawns that ensured that no one could begin a match with any advantage over the other player. You had the ever-useful auger, capable of tracking enemies through walls, potentially killing campers that chose to hide and wait, and a shield that could block certain incoming projectiles, increasing the damage for every blast that made it through. There was a shotgun and melee for close quarters combat. A flamethrower and airfield grenades for taking out clusters of enemies in hard-to-reach places. An arc charger that could chain together attacks and light up the kill feed, turning the tide of battle. Of course, the toxicity of the Lark with its secondary fire homing missiles and the bullseye tags were there too. But there was also the all-purpose M5A2 carbine and the Far-Eye sniper that required headshots to be effective. There were even two different player species in Ranked that alternated between rounds, with human and chimera variants each with their pros and cons. Chimeras having speed and damage advantages, but with half the health, and humans spawning with a frag grenade for an easy target bomber at spawn. Because of this variety and the relative skill required to get kills, you earned every ribbon and stripe through eliminating your opponents directly, and every encounter seemed to be something slightly different than the one before it.
If you're the kind of player, like me actually, who likes to build up stats, we offer rankings and stat building and rewards for moving up in terms of your rankings. And we want to keep people coming back to the online and continuing to kind of boost their skills and their stats at the same time.
Here this genius talks about exactly what I've been saying, puts it exactly into words about the replay value in multiplayer. Resistance also gave us a foundation for a play-to-earn reward system, with intricately detailed stat tracking features on the player profile that added a level of personalization akin to trading cards, allowing you to show off your stats and accomplishments compared to other players. This progression system incentivized the playing experience beyond simply ranking up your character, as it brought you more of the same addicting combat and allowed you to chronicle your journey as you build up your stats and reputation. Resistance posed the question, asking what the game could do for you and not what your wallet could do for the game.
Of course, when it comes to replay, nothing is better than online because you're always facing off against different opponents. Every battle's different, and we're also offering a lot of community support on our websites where you can check your rankings, you can check out who of your friends is actually playing Resistance Fall of Man.
This part that Ted talks about is interesting, but in Resistance, this is actually to the contrary, as the important quality in building an online community means being able to play with the same bunch of players over time, typically through custom matchmaking as you develop a community of friends and foes, acquired through continuations of camaraderie and rivalries. If you met another player talking trash, you could settle it in a 1v1, with people spectating for all the marbles. And likewise, clans both big and small could contest for supremacy and bragging rights. Every aspect of the design was intuitive, from the in-game social hub connecting you to friends via buddy list, and clan members that would follow you into battle in parties as big as 20 players, with text messaging via public chat room or DM, and voice chat allowing you to taunt, troll, and antagonize teammates or enemies simultaneously. This made easy for Resistance Fall of Man to develop an organic community of familiar faces. There were unique game modes like Breach, Assault, Meltdown, and Capture the Flag, and the incredible Conversion mode with its modern-day equivalent being Battle Royale. Limited footage exists because the servers have been shut down for nearly a decade, and the prime has long since passed. But thanks to the hard-working mod community PS1, whose goal is to preserve classic multiplayer games on PlayStation like Resistance Fall of Man and even PlayStation Home, I was able to capture some demo footage with the help of Jade Warrior and Resistance Fall of Man Demon, but nothing compares to the experience of playing Resistance back in the late 2000s. If you want to see some great gameplay, watch some of the old montages on YouTube from some of the game's best players. It's baffling that in the decade and a half since its launch, mainstream multiplayer games have failed to innovate, instead regressing into half-assed, repetitive, RNG, pay-to-win models, whereas Resistance was a launch title, more complete and robust in a single package than anything we've ever experienced in a multiplayer game. Maybe one day a game will take cues from Resistance and do something original, something skill-based, and something for the community. Or maybe it should, like its storyline, stay in the past in an alternate timeline.